Everyone has dignity and value as a human being.
Being different can't be the reason for discrimination.
Understanding the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. We have the right to be respected for integrity, liberty, and privacy.
All people should be respected as individuals in recognition as human beings in society. Also, we have the rights to be recognized as who we are, including the physical and mental abilities, and rights to have our privacy protected. No one deserves to receive insulting treatment and punishment, nor forceful physical and mental abuse. Additionally, there should be no restrictions on changing residence or nationality. Isn't it too obvious? But in order to protect these fundamental rights and not take them for granted, we all need to change our perspectives. Admitting each other's integrity and protecting the liberty and rights of one another. As obvious as it may sound, we should all work to protect these rights. In this lecture, we will learn about Article 17, Protecting the Integrity of the Person, Article 18, Liberty of Movement and Nationality, and Article 22, Respect for Privacy. Article 17, Protecting the Integrity of the Person.
Musical actress Anita Hollander sings and acts with confidence on the stage. She is a musical actress. A prosthetic limb is just a part of her body that she can wear and take it off whenever she wants. It's just her physical characteristic that is slightly different from others. In fact, she did not accept her body as a unique characteristic from the first place. She had to start using a prosthetic limb due to after effects resulting from a cancer. At the time, she says that it was hard to embrace her reality. However, as time passed, she started acting on the stage. She realized that prosthetic limb is one of the means of expressing emotion for actors, just like arms, legs, head, and fingers. And when she talks about her disability, she says that everyone is unique in their own way, and that integrity is a talent that humans have. Regardless of having a disability or not, all of our physical and mental integrity needs to be respected. Accepting oneself for who they are and a society that respects them. Are you also contributing for such a society?
Anita Hollander says with confidence that her physical integrity is a talent. She is such an amazing lady full of confidence, don't you think? Showing her leg as it is in front of people without wearing prosthetic limb. It is a method of displaying the integrity of her body. Integrity means that we should accept ourselves for who we are and should be respected by others as well. In the UN CRPD, protecting the integrity of the person is stipulated in Article 17. In this article, it describes that every person with disabilities has a right to respect for his or her physical and mental integrity on an equal basis with others. Here, physical and mental integrity means that every individual, including persons with disabilities, should be acknowledged and respected for who they are, without changing, distorting, or hiding their physical and mental abilities and states of recognition as human beings. Shall we solve a quiz? From the following, what is not a correct statement about persons with disabilities that have a right to respect for his or her physical and mental integrity? A. Their physical and mental abilities and states must be respected. B. Persons with disabilities must be respected for being who they are. And C. Involuntary medical treatment must be respected. What is your answer? The answer is C. Involuntary medical treatment must be respected. Persons with disabilities have the right not to have their integrity violated through forced intervention, such as involuntary medical treatment. Article 18. Liberty of movement and nationality.
There are a total of 4 members in Mr. A's family who lives in New Zealand. Mr. A applied for permanent residency in Australia, hoping to live with his father who lives there before he passes away. But Mr. A and his family were devastated by the unexpected reply from the immigration office. It's because Mr. A, his wife, and their daughter received permanent residency, but not for his son. Their son has a developmental disability. The Australian Immigration Office rejected the application of permanent residency of their son for the reason that medical costs Mr. A's son needs will lead to an increased tax burden to Australians. Mr. A and his family are in trouble. Will they be able to immigrate to Australia without breaking up?
What do you think about the case of Mr. A and his family? As such, just until a few years ago, many countries, including Australia, had health requirements for obtaining a visa or permanent residency, specifying that there must be no disabilities that require community service. Fortunately, countries such as Australia and Canada have deemed these restrictions are unfair and eased the restrictions of the requirements for applying for permanent residency. Therefore, Mr. A and his family might be able to immigrate to Australia, where their grandfather lives, without breaking up. Moving from one place to another, or being able to immigrate from the country where a person has his or her nationality to a different country are rights given to all human beings. For this, Article 18, Liberty of Movement and Nationality, was created. The article explains that the persons with disabilities have the rights to liberty of movement, to freedom to choose their residence, and to a nationality. Specifically, they have the right to acquire and change a nationality, and are free to leave or enter any country. Because this article stresses that states parties can't reject the movement or immigration due to disability, ultimately, it can be seen as an article that was made to ensure the rights of persons with disabilities to freedom to choose their residence. Also, it acknowledges the autonomous decision-making for their residence and nationality, and guarantees the rights of persons with disabilities to live as members of society.
I see. But what about the liberty of movement and nationality for children with disabilities?
Everyone is given a name and a nationality at birth. Related to this, Article 18 also states that children with disabilities shall be registered immediately after birth and shall have the right from birth to a name, the right to acquire a nationality, and, as far as possible, the right to know and be cared for by their parents. This is to provide specific measures to prevent the violation of rights to birth registration, a name, nationality acquirement, etc., for babies and infants born with a disability. Let's solve a quiz. Not being able to have blank and blank, which everybody has from birth due to a disability, is an obvious violation of human rights. Select 2 correct words to fill in the blanks.
Nationality, friends, hobby, education, name, wealth. What is your answer?
The answers are nationality and name. Article 22. Respect for privacy. Have you ever had these experiences? Your diary being read by someone without your consent? Or receiving a text or a call from a stranger that contains your personal information, such as your name and address? How did you feel back then? You must have felt bad, thinking that your privacy was invaded. The right to privacy must be guaranteed for everyone at all times. The UNCRPD considers it important and thus created Article 22, Respect for Privacy. Regardless of place of residence or living arrangements, No person with disabilities shall be subjected to arbitrary or unlawful interference with his or her privacy, family, home, or correspondence or other types of communication, or to unlawful attacks on his or her honor and reputation. Persons with disabilities have the right to the protection of the law against such interference or attacks. Especially, ensuring the confidentiality and respecting their privacy and ensuring the accurate delivery and preservation of correspondence and its confidentiality for the person with mental disabilities and person with disabilities living in facilities should be guaranteed. The collection and storage of personal information through ICT should also be regulated by law. In order to protect the privacy of persons with disabilities, knowing how the personal information is saved, stored, and for what purpose it is used would be important. Guaranteeing these rights can also be seen to be included in this article. Also, the state's parties must provide protection for the honor and reputation of persons with disabilities, and must prepare the effective relief measures for all unlawful criticism and attacks.
I understand. Then what does arbitrary interference mean in detail in this article?
Arbitrary interference, being discussed here, means that even if it is interference by law, it is deemed to be unreasonable, discriminative, and inappropriate. Persons with disabilities have the right to the protection of the law against arbitrary or unlawful interference, and the state's parties must carry out legal or other measures to guarantee such right. Shall we solve a quiz? No person with disabilities, regardless of place of residence or blank, indicating whether he or she lives with family or in welfare facilities, etc., shall be subjected to arbitrary or unlawful interference with his or her privacy, family, home, or correspondence or other types of communication. What is the correct answer for the blank?
A. Living arrangements. B. Lifestyle.
What is your answer? Correct. The answer is living arrangements. The right to respect for integrity, liberty, and privacy. Let's summarize these rights again. Article 17. Protecting the integrity of the person. Every person with disabilities has a right to respect for his or her physical and mental integrity. Article 18. Liberty of movement and nationality. Persons with disabilities have the rights to liberty of movement, to freedom to choose their residence, and to a nationality. Article 22. Respect for privacy. No person with disabilities shall be subjected to arbitrary or unlawful interference with his or her privacy, family, home, or correspondence, and their personal information shall be protected.